Yo, 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 yo. Welcome back to Brandon Smooth TV. I'm back at you with another review. Falcon and the Winter Soldiers, episode 2 and 3. Pretty brief reviews and a couple of the things I definitely enjoyed about the episodes. Um, episode 2, of course, picks up with them announcing a brand new Captain America. So, since Sam Wilson turned the shield back over to the United States government, they didn't wait no time. They didn't waste any time at all. They literally just went and found the best soldier they could. And it's John Walker. John Walker is the new Captain America. Now, maybe I missed it. You can leave it down below in the comments, but is he a super soldier? I assume he is. Because they start listing some of his credentials and all of the things he's done. First person in U.S. history to do this and that. Top of his class at West Point. Whatever he did, he was top of the line guy. You know what I'm saying? As far as his credentials, if you look at it for a resume on who should be the next Captain America, then, he checks all those boxes. The problem with it is, you remember, if we go back and watch the first Captain America movie as far as the MCU is concerned, Cap, the reason they chose to give him the super serum, the super soldier serum, was because he had a good heart. And y'all know that he was just a puny dude. He was a puny dude, but he had heart. Remember in the first movie, they did the test and act like it was a live grenade, and all the other soldiers ran away. Like I would have did, probably what everybody did, and they thought about themselves first. This guy went over to the live grenade and jumped on top of it and basically shielded it so he can lessen the impact if it did explode. And that was part of the big test that they looked at to decide and say, hey, somebody that's willing to do this is going to put, the country first, and this is a good candidate. So not that he was necessarily the strongest, the fastest, the smartest, but he had that good heart, and he was pure. Now, this new Captain America, I don't think he has that. I think he's just a hardened soldier, you know what I'm saying, that just does orders, and he's willing to do any and everything. I think we're going to see that moving forward to get the job done, even if it's illegal. But y'all got to remember, Cap is a criminal. Cap was a fugitive for years. They went over that. Cap was running from the government for over 2 years. And you remember when he showed back up in Infinity War, with his hair all long and the beard and stuff. He was a rebel. So going back into this episode, I just had to kind of touch on Captain America because we do have a new Captain America. I did like the interaction between Captain America, the new Captain America, John Walker, and Bucky. Because Bucky really didn't even talk to him. Sam was kind of talking because it's a few times where they meet up and it's kind of awkward. You carrying around your boy's shield and he's the new Cap, basically playing like your boy. So they had a good back and forth. I like that. They also introduced, is it Battlestar? Battlestar. I never heard of this character. Another black superhero. I guess he was with Cap. You know what I'm saying? Back in the comic books in the 1940s and 50s and so on and so forth. But basically, he's another sidekick. Kind of like Bucky the Cap. They introduced him. That was cool. And they had some good back and forth. This episode also included more super soldiers because basically this group is trying to have one world, one people. I forgot what it's called, the Red Flag, something, whatever they call. Terrorist group. And basically they want to take it back to 5 years ago, when the blip happened and everybody disappeared when Thanos snapped his fingers. Now, they're super soldiers. Somehow they got the serum and they're using it on themselves so they can combat people. But we found out and we went to a scene that there was actually a black super soldier named Isaiah. And similar to Cap, he got hit with the super soldier serum. But with him, he said he didn't get freedom. They locked his black ass up. And experimented on him and took blood samples and skin samples and basically, tried to recover some of that genetic material so they could utilize it in the future to make more super soldier serum, probably create their own version of, a super soldier. God damn, if I say super soldier anymore in this video, if I take a shot every time, I'll be a drunk mother. Anyways, they had another scene too. Basically, Bucky broke his probation when he went with Sam to help him try to stop the terrorist group. So he had to do a therapy session with his therapist, and then the therapist made Sam come in there too, and they kind of did some type of weird couples therapy session. And I was sitting there watching it, and some of the jokes was hitting, some of them wasn't, but she made them scoot their chairs close together, and then they had their legs intertwined. Pause. And I was like, what the? I was like, are they gonna kiss? I was like, what is going on? I mean, you could take a joke, sometimes a joke works, but sometimes a joke don't. And then sometimes with these Marvel movies, they keep trying to add and stack onto the joke that don't work. If it don't work, it don't work. Last but not least, episode 2, of course, the cop scene. They're leaving Isaiah Washington's house. They do show him looking like he's living in the inner city. He probably is living in the hood. Hell, the government locked him up for 30 years. You think they're going to send him with a severance package or a check? Hell no. He probably went back to his old house or property that he owned. But when they were leaving, they were having a little back and forth, and some police officers pulled up and was like, hey, what's going on? And he's like, nothing. We have an argument. And then that's what Sam said. And then Bucky was like, yeah, we're cool. And, police are like, well, you're not cool. And then they start surrounding people. You already know how that goes. And they start putting hands on guns and unbuckling the little button, start, maybe pulling the, it's always some weird shit. And, it escalated, it almost escalated very quickly until one of the police officers recognized that Sam Wilson was Falcon from the Avengers. It's like, hey, and then he wanted selfies and it was all cool and I apologize about this, but if he wasn't, that could have went a whole different entire way, for real. Now, the significance of that scene is important. And people be always talking about, we don't want to see real life stuff in superhero movies. We want escapism. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to see this. This is the world we live in. This is the world that we live in. Everybody's reality is different. Some people choose to keep their head down and capitulate and just, go along with the way things are, status quo. And then there's some people that speak out and be like, hey, this is wrong. This is an injustice and something needs to be done about it. So Marvel trying to quote unquote go woke or slide some of this in, it's crazy because it works in some instances and in some it doesn't. But if you're watching this, don't watch it for that, because comic books have always been based on real life events. We got Captain America basically fighting Hydra, which is the Nazis. We can go into pretty any superhero mythos, and a lot of them were created during war times back in the 40s and 50s and when we were actually at like real big wars. So these characters are influenced by what's happening in current events. Man, it's just funny, when black people, when African Americans, when we want to interject, some of our history, because I don't believe in black history, it's American history, it's all the same. Let it happen, because if you agree or not, whatever side you stand on, it doesn't matter. What matters is these issues are happening. I'm glad this show does have the cojones to actually touch on it here and there. I don't want to overdo it, I want to get into it, but these issues need to be touched on. We had the bank loan stuff in episode 1, now we got the thing with the police, and, I love Sam Wilson. He don't apologize for being black. I'm not going to apologize for being black. There's nothing you should have to do. So the cop scene was good, it was needed, and F everybody who say, I don't want to watch superhero movies for this or that because it's dealing with real life stuff when all the other ones do. Batman dealing with real life shit, his parents got murdered. He's dealing with criminals in a New York-esque city. Spider-Man's in New York. For real. A lot of people don't know this first Spider-Man movie. There was a scene where he was going to trap a helicopter with webs in between the Twin Towers. But that movie came out around, 9/11, and then they took that shit out, as they should have, because the current event affected what really happened, and they had to change that story around. So that happens. But I digress on that. Getting to episode 3. In episode 3, at the end of episode 2, they was like, look, we ain't got no leads. We need to find somebody that knows extensive knowledge about Hydra. And they end up going to work with Baron Zemo. Now, if you don't remember, Baron Zemo introduced himself at the end of Civil War, finally revealed himself. He was basically the orchestrator who got Iron Man and Cap to fight. And showed Iron Man the footage of the Winter Soldier killing Iron Man's mom and dad, his family. So Yeah, it was crazy going to mention him. So I'm glad they went and they had to break him out of jail. And Sam, if he would have known about it, I don't think he would have been able to do it. But they ended up breaking him out of jail. And Baron Zemo actually ended up being a pretty cool, laid back character. He knows about struggle. Even though his family was wealthy, he lost a lot in Sokovia. So it was a lot of different things I enjoyed about episode 3. Sam actually mentioned Skull Island. And I'm like, is Skull Island part of the MCU? I mean, is this the same universe or was it just an Easter egg? Because that means Godzilla is running around with the Avengers all in one big world. That'd be a crazy, crazy fight. Also, they had to go undercover to get some information. So Baron Zemo had them playing different characters. And the scene was very funny when they made Sam Falcon. He had to take, it looked like a snake egg. Because he was playing another character like some hardcore dude, criminal. And they go into a bar and they're like, you want the usual? And they have to say, yeah, I want the usual. I'm playing somebody else. So the dude takes like a boa constrictor, a python, I don't know what it was. Slices the belly open, takes a goddamn egg and puts it in a shot glass with some vodka or something and was like, there you go. And when he drank that was funny because he didn't really want to do it. And then after he drank it, the look that Bucky gave him, that look was classic. Also, Sharon Carter is back. Sharon Carter is back. She was in Civil War. Briefly in a few scenes, she was Captain America's love interest, and she's in this whooping ass, beating people down. She was doing pretty good with that. Baron Zemo dancing in the club, that was another highlight of the episode I definitely enjoyed. I thought that was a cool little shot. And then last but not least, we ended episode 3 with, and I don't know her name. I just know the regular character's name, like a Okoye. But basically, the second in command of the Dora Milaje from Black Panther and Wakanda showed up, saying she's here for Baron Zemo. They left the episode off like that. We don't know what's going to happen. Now, I don't know if she's there for revenge because, King T'Chaka was murdered by Baron Zemo. That's what it could be, but we'll find out. So this review is a little longer. 2 episodes I had to go over. Please like and subscribe. I'm getting ready to go watch Godzilla and Kong. You already know I did the reaction video on the trailer, and I am excited for Godzilla vs. Kong. So I will catch y'all next time. Peace.